Hello everyone, this is Fonz We Got Fonz, and welcome back. As you can see, we're talking about some stuff that I don't really usually talk about. There is really no reason why. So, this is the perfect place to open it up. As you can see, we are talking about XG under the company XGALX. Um, you know, they make music in what, Japanese and English. I'm not sure if I remember hearing any Korean. Um, global girl group vibes, right? The company was formed, if I'm not mistaken, by a former member of DMTN Dynamite, and yeah, that's where we go from there. Don't clock me about all the information of the documentaries. I didn't watch all that. I ain't gonna hold you. But we're here to get into it and what we could find out about XG. Couple of girl group members. How many? Not girl group members. Specifically, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 members. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can count 6 or 7. Anyways, yes, 7 members. Sorry. So we're jumping into it, and we're talking about everything XG, just about, at least in the technical aspect. What can we get? At least talking to the cards spiritually in the universe. Things about their contract. What sort of contracts are they under? Are these contracts really long? Is everybody else having a pretty decent contract except for one member who is being mistreated or something like that? I'm not sure, so let's just jump into it. We're starting off with overall, what does the contract potentially look like for the group? So, the Knight of Swords, the Judgment, 9 of Cups, overall bottom, the Tower, Knight of Cups, and King of Cups. So something about this tells me that they could have maybe gave it some real thought after, specifically talking about the company, maybe as its own entity. They could have really thought about this, which means like, maybe when you leave, I wouldn't know if I would say this is like evil or anything like that. When you leave, if you want to do any sort of group promotions, you got to come back to us to do any sort of group promotions or something like that later in the future. Or maybe they have a situation where they own their brands but not their names, so they'll still be dealing with the company somehow. If they decide to branch off or do anything else different. But I would say what this looks like energetically wise, it seems fair in some senses. I will say there might be a member. I'm not going to say a member or two. It more so feels like possibly one or maybe 2 people. Feels like they were a little bit too young to maybe really comprehend the complexities of their contract and is wondering, like, did I make a mistake? Should I have had some more negotiation or had somebody else negotiate it for me? And there's the Tower on the overall bottom. So this, to me, feels like maybe not. Let me not suggest like this could be full on scandal later, but this could be a situation where there is one member who did kind of get the short end of the stick when it comes to a particular stipulation, and she might not really know what to do about it, if there's anything that can be done, if that. So we're just going to move into briefly going over just how each girl feels about her contract, and maybe just how they're treated at the company as an individual. Starting off with Jurin, one card just to characterize how she is treated at the company, 9 of Pentacles. How does she feel about her contract? The World, the Judgment, the Empress, Page of Wands overall bottom, and the Knight of Cups. So this could be the person who felt like she was not mature enough at the time to really understand her contract, maybe, or know what she was signing up for. But it looks like she's treated pretty decently at the company, actually. And is pretty content, at least with the day-to-day tasks and how it runs. And just looking at how she feels about her contract, she actually feels like she can really do something with this and really make something work, and probably feels like it's actually pretty decently fair, especially for the labor she's putting in. So what she's getting in return is actually very hopeful too, that she's going to get a lot of opportunities to grow, try new things, and see a lot of new things, and maybe even travel the world in some manners. So Either way, whether she felt like she was maybe uncomfortable with it at the time or, still has questions, she seems like she's doing pretty alright. So now on to Chisa. It seems like the judgment, how she feels like she's treated at the company, how she feels about the contract. 5 of Cups, the Empress, 3 of Cups over at bottom, the Devil, 5 of Pentacles, the Death, 9 of Cups, the Hermit, and the High Priestess. So there's part of her that feels like she's getting gypped in terms of a contract period. She feels afraid, restricted, almost even like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to get out of this? Maybe this is too long. Did I sign up, and allow them to put too many restrictions on me? But then there's the other half of her that feels like, I love my team. I love my bandmates, I guess the word would be. Fellow idols, whatever. Bandmates. And this is the team. I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. But there's the hope that maybe she can grow beyond this or something and be able to maybe get more leverage. So there's something or some certain stipulations that she doesn't really feel right about and or like. But in terms of how she feels like she's treated at the company, oddly enough, is she feels like she's treated pretty decently. Like, you know what I mean? I guess she doesn't feel like she's treated like shit. This makes me wonder, like, what was her experience when it comes to, maybe debuting under other circumstances or whatever, and maybe that's why she's worried about being treated like shit, etc. But to me, yet again, this seems pretty decent. But I guess we'll round back on her we'll round back on her right now and see what is this thing that you think is restrictive to you. So what she thinks is restrictive: the 10 of Swords, 3 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, over our bottom Empress, the Hierophant, the Star, and the 4 of Cups. So to her, this feels straight up like this could be opportunities related to solo activities. So I'm not sure if she had any intentions or desires to go solo or do some sort of solo contest. Try something like that. She feels like, dang, why is it that everything that I have to do have to be stuff that is contributing to the brand and is always for the team as opposed to just for me, possibly. So maybe she has the desire to have a little bit more priority on her solo career and what she's doing. And that's why she's a little bit worried about it, that it's like, oh my gosh, at the end of this, or, will I be stuck doing group stuff forever and never have the chance to do anything for myself? As opposed to only being stuck to the group. So that's something that she has concerns with and maybe has even asked for advice for. So now, moving on. So now, Hinata, how does she feel like she's treated at the company, the world, etc. You already know what's up. 2 of Wands, the Devil, the Wheel of Fortune over our bottom, the Emperor, 10 of Wands, the King of Cups, and what's this, the 4 of Pentacles? Okay, so there it is right there. There is a little bit of her energy, possibly, or just how she feels about herself, that's a little bit self-protected. So there's definitely going to be a little bit of missing information. But I'm going to try my best for what we have here. In terms of how she feels like she's treated at the company, she honestly feels like she's having it her way. Whether she demanded it or is influenced or is just given it, she's able to ask for what she wants, get what she wants. Things are done the way she wants them to. So she feels like she has a lot of agency and a lot of stake. With that being said, how she feels about her contract, there's part of her that sees where it's really benefiting her and probably likes it a decent amount, but there's part of her that maybe still sometimes wonders if there is more out there, maybe in terms of opportunities, or maybe let's say in terms of, I don't know, if she had interest in going solo, would the company support me and do as much for me like this if I were to be having or expressing the desire to go solo in that same way, something like that. The Devil here just feels like, in the Emperor, the 10 of Wands, it just makes me wonder, like, there's a particular stipulation, maybe that's, across the board similar for them, that's making them maybe worried about if they needed to or wanted to get out of this contract, would they be able to do so? The 4 of Wands also here peeking. Yeah, there's just something maybe about the length or getting out. We'll go over that towards the end also. Like, do they have any bans on dating? Do they have stuff that's talking about them related to their image, etc., etc.? So, I'm starting to notice a pattern. By the way, we're talking about Harvey. How she feels about being treated at the company. King of Swords, the contract, The Five of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, Six of Wands over our bottom of the Sun, Five of Cups, and the Eight of Wands and the Six of Cups. There's like the pattern I'm noticing is possibly related to the length of the contract. Like there's this fear, or not even a fear, at least specifically for Harvey, like, oh my gosh, how long am I gonna be doing this? Like, am I gonna be doing this when I get old? Will I be able to do this when I get old? Anyway, as for how she feels like she's being treated at the company, as at least for right now, she feels like she's having it her way also. She's getting treated the way she wants to. She's able to ask and maybe even in some respects demand what she needs, and it's not going to be ignored. As for her contract, like I said, there's something here that feels like either she likes that it's for the long haul or it's something that concerns her. She does feel like it's a pretty decent contract. She's able in a way to go for gold, I suppose. And she's succeeding well, but there's part of her that feels like it's like long. Something about the length is a concern here for the girls, it seems. Overall, it seems like Harvey feels pretty positively about it. She's able to be very communicative and vocal, and that's what she likes, especially because there could be part of it that she's been taught to be this way, as a means of, standing up for herself, defending herself and being self-protected, which is a really good thing. But this Queen of Cups and the Five of Cups, there's like, it's just like a worry here, I guess. I don't know. Maybe this just could be because of her personal relationship to artistry. Like, there's an idea, like, is there going to be anything left? Or what do I want to do after all this is said and done and over? Or will I be stuck doing it forever? So this could be a personal thing. But let's move on. So now, here we are with Miss Juria jumping in. How does she feel like she's treated at the company? Page of Swords. How does she feel about her contract? Eight of Swords, the Devil, Temperance, King of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and the Nine of Cups. So in terms of how she feels like she's treated at the company, she feels like she's probably treated pretty decently, but there's part of her that feels like it's because she is very strategic with how she moves around and interacts maybe with those. So she's very intentional about the way she does things. It doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, manipulator or anything like that. It just means that she's, to some extent calculated, but calculated does not always have to mean a negative thing. But how she feels about her contract, she straight up feels like there is maybe, for her liking, too many restrictions that she decided to accept and put up with for now. But thinks that maybe some of these stipulations could be adjusted and or changed, maybe later on. So maybe that's something that she's banking on in hopes that maybe she could have some more power and or leverage later. I'm not sure if their situation is exactly something where, they just renew after however many years, like K-pop, but maybe it could be something like that. But looking at these overalls, it seems like, of course, she has a lot of ambitions and things that she wants to do. Maybe even a particular way she would like to evolve and adjust her image. But there's part of her here that seems like, and feels like, they're kind of holding her back from showing herself maybe to the world in the way that she wants to show herself to the world. So maybe this could just mean something like, I don't know. Let's say, I don't know if I would say XG by any means gives off like baby kids, but maybe she would like to show them doing more real things or going out for a drink or heaven knows. She's what, 21 now, just barely, but still yet. So this is still like 21. Anyways, something, or 20, whatever. You get what I'm saying. Maybe there's just more of her that she would like to show and or talk about. And it does feel like it's a little bit restricting for her, but for right now, she thinks this is something that's okay. This is something that I can put up with because it's going to change, it's going to move, it's going to work out the way that I want it to. So now for Miss Maya, how does she feel like she's treated at the company? Queen of Swords. How does she feel about her contract? Ace of Cups, the Moon, the Star, Three of Cups, overall bottom, Four of Swords, the Knight of Swords, Eight of Swords, and what's this? The Eight of Wands. So she might be maybe, like, I said earlier, like 2 members. She might be the second among those people that feel like maybe they were too young to fully know what they were signing on for before, it just happened. Or, they chose to sign. Um, well, we'll come back to that. How she feels like she's treated at the company. She feels like she's treated pretty decently, but there's part of her that might be feeling like, it's like this for a reason, uh I can, I don't know, it's there's part of her that knows who she can trust and who she can't trust, and knows who she should interact with in a certain way or whatever, because of the way it is. It's very much like an awareness of how things go. Maybe not to say that she's distrustful of anybody, but she knows that I guess there's part of her that feels like she should be careful. She should act a certain way. She should behave a certain way, etc., etc. So there's part of her that is reasonably cautious whenever it comes to maybe what she does. But it's not the worst thing ever. It's not really giving like abuse. It's just knowing that she's very sharp in that regard, I guess. So some might even maybe find that in energy intimidating, because her vision is practically X-ray, for being real. How she feels about her contract. There's part of her that she is glad that she's met her other bandmates, I suppose we can call them, and she does really like and care for them, and she does feel grateful for the opportunity that she's been given. But honestly, it's giving maybe she would question it, like if she had the chance to sign on for this company or another company, like somebody was going to tell her what her contract would look like here with XGALX versus wherever else, she would probably maybe choose another contract, if we're being real. Not that she doesn't like her friends, bandmates, whatever. I don't know. Who knows if they're friends? Also, peeking card, Ace of Swords. But there's part of her that just feels like, in terms of the goals and maybe where she wants to go and what she wants to do, and also just hopefully being able to get the most out of the situation, especially knowing that despite it being mutually beneficial, she's still as important of the process as talent. She might want to go somewhere else. There's part of her at times that does suffer with some overworking, but she'll still get up at the end of the day and do her job, mind her business. There's a lot of air here. I wonder what her chart looks like. She's very much sharp, very much put together, but there's part of her that does feel like, some of her better parts, maybe not best, our most amazing parts are very restricted. So the way that she would like to be seen and like to come off and like to do, it feels like she learned about maybe these more sobering aspects of the reality when being in it, as opposed to, somebody letting her know, maybe based on what she's experienced, etc. So honestly, I'm not saying, oh, she's just gonna leave and abandon her or something if they have like a renewal period, but there's part of her that definitely might be gathering her data, assessing, and trying to think what could be and maybe even should be different for a situation, to make some adjustments later if she decides to keep doing this, etc. But yeah, there's part of her that just felt like I didn't know what it was coming into it, and nobody really explained it to me because they didn't want to on purpose. So now I have to make sure I'm watching my ass. You know what I'm saying? That's very much her vibe with this. Now, last but never the least, the currently bald baddie, Coconut. How does she feel about how she's treated at the company? Seven of Swords. How does she feel about her contract? Knight of Pentacles, Seven of Swords again, Ten of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, overall bottom, Ten of Wands, the Death Star, and Knight of Cups. Straight up, she feels overworked. She feels kind of snubbed in some ways. There's part of her that just feels like why are they treating me different in some ways? So, or it even just could be a situation where she's thinking like, sometimes what can I do to get out of this? So I don't know. How she feels about her contract, she's going to faithfully see it to an end, or she's going to do her work, she's going to get it done, she's going to stand on her image. She's made lifelong friendships and good connections, and maybe even seen just a lot of things that fulfill her in some ways, but she's learned a lot of things, and it's not always through good means that she's learned some of these things. This Seven of Swords yet again just makes her feel like, I was promised one thing and they have not delivered on that. So maybe she was promised some things that the others weren't promised, or maybe it was a situation where she didn't recognize her talent, maybe she was put down. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But there's part of it that does feel like, at the very least, something was promised to her and it wasn't given. It has not been delivered on, and she feels some type of way about that. She does feel jaded, and there's part of her that feels like I should just get up and go. Like I said, overworking is here. So honestly, if we haven't already seen this shift, we could be seeing a shift in her, the way she operates, period. Maybe not like, oh, she'll just start being lazy on stage by any means. But it seems like, she's going to start acting like her pay grade, if you will. So for example, maybe they be trying to have her do all of this extra stuff, go here, there, this, that, and the third, collab with this person, go here, there, do a TikTok. She's not gonna want to do that stuff no more. And honestly, it seems like maybe she could have been praying to whatever it means for a different opportunity, or maybe even just a different place to be. Yikes. Don't like that for her. So, I feel like this definitely leaves us with some questions. So I'm going to clean this up and I'm going to be right back and we're going to go deeper. So I decided to see, do the girls get paid the same? And what is one of the at least one restrictive act or something in their contract? So the answer is yes. Ace of Cups, the girls allegedly do get paid the same amount, but I'm going to tell you right now, when I was shuffling the cards, they was taking a long time to flip out. So to me, that indicates, they was probably being paid differently or being handled differently before maybe they decided, how they want to divide things up. What is one of the restrictive things in the contract? The 7 of Swords twice, 9 of Wands reverse, and the 3 of Pentacles. So to me, this looks like probably related to possibly collaboration, maybe brand deals, or maybe just the way is the fact you do what the company tells you. You can't look outside of anything else. You might be able to suggest something, but sorry if y'all can hear me scratching my wrist. I need to stop. What was I saying? Yeah, like you can suggest something like, hey, I want to audition for this, or I would love to be considered for this. I want to try this, that, and the third. And you have no control whether they're going to allow that and say yes or no to you. So it just looks like sometimes the company will just turn things down, and they really don't have as much of a control or a say. So I wonder if they're really getting that much support as individuals when it comes to their careers, as opposed to the company maybe focusing on what it's like for them as a group unit. And much to their surprise, it's kind of, they're allowed to foster connections, but it's made them lose out on some things, and they don't really like that. So, Okay, so now wrapping it up, what's it giving? Do they have restrictions on dating? Body image and weight specifically, trigger warning. And do they have anything in terms of restrictions on tattoos and piercings? And wouldn't you like to believe? 3 of Swords, 9 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles. The answer is no, no, and no. Overall bottom, Queen of Cups and 6 of Pentacles. And that also is probably what kind of allows them to maintain some more individual freedom. It makes them possibly have a more friendly relationship with the company by being allowed to be people. So, sounds like K-pop might need to take some notes, y'all. I don't know. Anyways, let me know what you think. This was a long one, but nevertheless, to me, very interesting. So, drop me some comments below of any other groups, whether it's J-pop, K-pop, C-pop, T-pop, or even P-pop, Q-pop, and whatever. Who else, contract-wise, do you want me to give some reviews? And let's dig into them questions, y'all. So, catch me next time in the next video. If you can't get down with the get down, don't get down with us. Annyeong.